Last week, we asked the question, what type of insurance do you have? Is it Medicare, Medicaid? Is it private insurance? Or is it all three? Did we ask the question? Right? Hopefully you did. So this week, we need to know deed or mortgage. Which one? If your parent owns a home, that's so important. Hey, is the house paid off? Do you have the deed? Or are we still paying on the house? Why you need to know those things? In the event when they pass away, a deed is okay, the house is paid off. You need to know who name is on the deed. That helps you go forward with getting a quick deed to get the house in your name. You must have a will to do so. You must have a will. That means your parent created a will and say, I'm leaving this house to said child. Right? Then you can go get it changed over in your name. Okay? But what if they have a mortgage? Your parents don't own the home. The mortgage company owns the home. So you need to know, hey, is there enough life insurance that's going to pay this house off? Or do I have to get the home refinanced and put it in my name in order to get the house? That's what you need to know, that. Because now that becomes your financial liability if that's going to happen. The deeds are important to know if the house is paid off or not. Because your parents, most likely because of their age, are not paying taxes on the home. Once they pass away, then now you have to start paying taxes. You want to keep up with the taxes because you don't want to lose the home. We need to find out if there's a mortgage. Okay, well, it was enough life insurance to pay the house off. Then you know what you need to do after that. But you also need to know if there's not enough life insurance, if I have to get the house refinanced, you have to go through those proper channels to do so. So those are conversations you want to have with your parents. Is there a deed? Do you have a copy of the deed? Do we still have a mortgage on the home? Those are the two questions you need to ask. You need to know that it can become, a major financial liability for you. And are you ready for that? That's why it was so important. This whole month, I talked about the questions you should ask. Do you have a will? Do you have a medical power of attorney? Do you have life insurance? Do you have a financial power of attorney? A will bypasses the whole probate, where there's no judge. You got to pay all this money or waiting years to try to get your parents' estate. That's important. So we need to know we have a will. Is this property willed to you? So then you have ownership or control to do what you need to do. That's important. So this is a time where you're going to get in their business. They don't want you in their business, but you need to know these things. Everything I've been saying, do you have a will? Do you have a financial power of attorney? Do you have a medical power of attorney? What insurance do you have? Do you have life insurance? This same thing I'm saying that you need to make sure your parents have, same thing you need to have. It's no different. But the biggest difference is because you're taking care of somebody else's business. That's important. You want to make sure you have the proper documentation. No one wants a judge to determine if you get your parents' property, estate. We can take care of this before. That's what happens when you do not have a will or you don't have the proper documentation in place. A judge, somebody will determine when or if you get it. Or you have an estate sale where if you may look in the paper or if you're driving through a neighborhood and they're having an estate sale, that means they're selling everything in the home to pay for any liens, any taxes, anything that person's estate has because they did not have a will. So now you want to be able to get your parents' belongings, but because you didn't have things in place, now we have an estate sale. And then anybody can get your parents' belongings or home. So it's just important to have these things in place. Have these conversations. So your question today, when is that calling them? Do not send them a text. Call them. Go see them. Hey, is there a mortgage still left on your home? One more thing, you need to also find out if it's a mortgage, make sure it's not a reverse mortgage. Did your parents take out a second mortgage on the house to get some money to do some upgrades or change some things? And now it's a second mortgage on the home, and they don't even. So in the event something happened, well, when something happens to your parent, the house goes directly to the bank or this financial institution. It doesn't even belong to you. You need to know that as well. So have those conversations, with your parents. Hey, is there a mortgage? Did you do a reverse mortgage? Did you do the reverse mortgage where you got some money? Did you take out a second mortgage? Is there a deed? Is the house paid off? Those are things you should know. So have those conversations with your parents. When you're caring for them as they get older, you want to know these things. So please go back through every Monday. I've posted things, questions, information, knowledge for you to ask your parents so you can support them during this time, and this does not become your financial liability. And that I do not want you to go into your 401k, your savings, where these are things that we can take care of up front, and it can be a little bit more economical for you versus you taking money out of your savings to take care of something, where this is something we can pay for monthly now if you need to. So if you have any questions, need any support, I'm here to help. You know how to reach me. You can reach me at thefinanciallady.com or any of my social media platforms. I will put everything in the chat. But if you need any support, I am here to help you. I deal with this every day. I went through the exact same process with my parent. Well, my dad is no longer with us. My mom is still here. So everything I'm telling you to do, I have been there and done that. I have the t-shirt for it. So I want to empower you to make sure that your parents have things together. Not when it's too late. Not when something happens. Like, have it together when they're healthy and they're in their right minds and they're able to handle things, because that can change in a moment. So make sure you get it done today, not to put it off, not to say I'm going to do it next week, not I'm going to do it next month. Do it today. So let that be your money move today.